Hey guys, thanks for watching. This is Chris Cooks Things. My name's Chris, and I'm gonna cook you something. In today's episode, we're gonna be making some Nashville hot chicken, beautiful creamy slaw, and some homemade potato chips. I hope you like it. First things first, let's marinate that chicken. You're going to want about 2 cups of milk. Now buttermilk is preferred, but I didn't have any. So I'm going to show you how to make some buttermilk. All you need is a little bit of white vinegar. For 2 cups, probably about 2 tablespoons. Whisk it in. Let it sit for about 10-15 minutes, and you got buttermilk. You can also use lemons, limes, anything sour. Then you're going to want about a 1/4 cup of hot sauce, preferably vinegar based, like a nice Tabasco or Louisiana. But in this case, I've actually got my own homemade pineapple habanero. As well as a good pinch of salt and a good pinch of pepper. But you know what, this is hot chicken, and that just ain't enough pepper. There we go. And then lastly, to really pack some flavor in there, a little bit of liquid smoke. And you really don't need much. This stuff is powerful. Now we've got some nice boneless, skinless chicken breasts. We're going to pat them dry. Both sides. And then season generously with salt and pepper. And you want to let this sit for about 10 minutes, let that salt and pepper start working. Now you can see it's all glossy because the salt has pulled out all the water from the chicken. Go ahead and give it one more good pat with the paper towel. And then we're going to throw her in the marinade. You're going to want to cover and then put it in the fridge for 6 hours. Now that we've got the chicken marinating, let's go ahead and do the rest of the prep. To make the dredge for the chicken, I like to go with about 2 cups of flour to 1 cup of cornstarch. Now, cornstarch helps keep the batter light and airy at the end. Next, we're going to need to season it, because you don't want just plain old flour and cornstarch. You want to season it very heavily. So we're going to start with good old salt and pepper. Maybe about 3 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of pepper, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 2 tablespoons of paprika, a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of onion powder, and then you want some sort of an herbage to kind of bring it up a little bit. So today we're going to go with oregano and thyme, probably a tablespoon each. Next we're going to make our spice blend, but at the end we'll mix with oil and it'll coat our chicken. First thing, cayenne pepper, probably about 2 tablespoons. A tablespoon of chili powder, a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon paprika, a pinch of salt, a pinch of pepper, a tablespoon of garlic, and 2 tablespoons of chipotle peppers. Now go ahead and cover it and save it for later. Now we'll go ahead and make the dressing for our coleslaw. I want this slaw to be very creamy and sweet and provide a nice balance to all the heat that's going on with the hot chicken. So we're going to start off with about 1.5 cups of mayonnaise, 2 tablespoons of black pepper, a tablespoon of salt, a tablespoon of garlic powder, and a couple of tablespoons of brown sugar. After tasting it, I added about a tablespoon each of paprika and celery salt. Go ahead and cover it and save that one for later too. Last thing is we're going to make a bit of garlic butter. So we got about 3 tablespoons of butter and about a tablespoon of garlic, a good pinch of salt, a good pinch of pepper. We're going to cut up a little bit of green onion for some garnish. We'll go ahead and chop up our potatoes for potato chips. Now the thing is, you want to get them as thin as you possibly can. Now go ahead and get yourself a good Dutch oven. Fill it with about 2 quarts of oil. And insert your thermometer. Go ahead and turn it on to a good medium high. And wait till she says 350. Also get a good cast iron heating up to toast our buns on. Go ahead and remove your chicken from the buttermilk marinade. Make sure you let any excess drip off. And then lay them back out to let all the excess drip off. Now in a separate bowl, we're going to crack 3 eggs. And then whisk them very thoroughly. Go ahead and combine those eggs into your leftover buttermilk mix from earlier. And give your chicken a thorough pat down. Now that the cast iron's good and warmed up, I got these sweet Hawaiian rolls. I'm going to spread that garlic butter from earlier on them and get them toasting. Now that the oil's all warmed up, time to dredge some chicken. Now the trick here is to keep a dry hand and a wet hand. So we're going to do a wet hand into the flour. Toss it around with your dry hand. Shake off the excess. And then drop into your buttermilk. Switch to your wet hand. Slosh it around. Pick it up. Let the excess drain again. Drop it back into your flour. And go back to dry hand. Shake off the excess. And you're good. We're going to fry 3 at a time. Take your chicken, put the first bit into the oil, and then gently drop it away from you. Oh yeah, those look good. Spreading them onto a cooling rack is very important. Gives all the grease room to drip off and air to flow around. They come out nice and crispy. Now your potato chips really need to go in one at a time. That way they don't stick together. If you just throw in a clump, it's not going to work out pretty for you. Go ahead and pull them once they're nice and golden. Once they come out, add a good pinch of salt and a little pinch of pepper. And there you go, some beautiful potato chips. And the last piece of the puzzle is taking our spice mix from earlier, and we're going to take about a cup of this here hot oil and very carefully mix it into that. Go ahead and mix together some cabbage and your coleslaw dressing from earlier. Just do a little bit at a time until it gets to the right consistency. Now to build the sandwich, we're going to take this here hot, spicy oil that we made, and we're going to brush that chicken. Look at that. Go ahead and flip her over, get the other side. Slap her down on that bun. I'm going to give you a good bit of coleslaw. Some pickles to help cut through all that fat. And a couple of green onions to garnish. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm Chris. I cooked you something. And we'll see you next time.